This is a dynamic disc Raider. It was just a 450-foot disc for me. Over time, it hit streets, cars, it's landed on top of the football stadium, had to wait for a storm to, no, that happened to a different disc, that wasn't this. It is somehow turned into my 350-foot hyzer flip shot. This is not what this disc is usually made for. I care a lot about this disc, and I always will. Unfortunately, I have had to retire it. That's where Disc Box comes into play. It needs a home that says, yeah, you know what's in there. Discs.
Each box is made from 100% recycled materials, and it can hold up to 30 discs. And honestly, it made going to the field a lot easier for me because I could actually take all my discs, and I think I lost a couple. If you're interested in a disc box, I'll leave a link in the description below. So I'm going to use Brody Smith as an example in this video. Brody is an absolute beast with his backhand, and he's accurate. He doesn't have to change anything. But the reason I'm going to examine his form today is because he's not doing the same thing as Drew Gibson. Drew Gibson is engaging the whole rubber band through both arms at a very specific time. Brody is not using half his body and still throwing 600 feet. Brody's going to throw like 800 feet. So once Brody gets the rubber band effect and uses this technique, he's going to be Godzilla. I was still throwing pretty far at this point, but this is a complete difference from this. Brody is definitely the sleeping giant in disc golf, in my opinion.
It's very difficult to find a good side shot in slow motion of Brody, so this is an older one, but I've watched some of his newer videos and I can tell that he's doing the same things, he's just doing it a lot better and a lot smoother. So on this throw, Brody is playing on his front leg. And as I play it in slow motion here, you can kind of just almost feel how he's gonna drop over that front leg, how he's like falling on top of it. See if that makes sense. So that's where the weight is at right now, and it's just going to continue to drop to the ground. Because the weight is on the front leg, this leg has basically been deactivated. This literally becomes an anchor, making it harder to rotate the hips. The hips turn, but they get turned at the same time by the leg and the upper body. You have to turn both to turn the hips fully. So what's going to happen now is Brody is only going to be able to use his upper body to rotate. So he's only rotating with the upper body while that leg is just holding his hips back from turning. As a side note, when the heel of this leg touches the ground, you cannot use it to drive rotation. Macbeth plays on the back leg, which means that during the X step, the last step is not a step at all. It's a balance and drift. So while front leg players are actually just taking a step, back leg players, their leg drifts for as long as they want it to while they balance on the ball of this foot. Knees bent, balancing. You can really start to feel the control and balance of this leg as he just takes his time drifting his leg. It's like an inch off the ground, look at that. It's just drifting. He's balancing on this the whole time. There's no pressure or weight on top of this leg at all. Brody's leg is straight, which indicates the weight's going to land on top. You can tell with the indentation right here of Paul's leg that the weight is not on top of this leg at all, and it never will be. Because the weight doesn't go on top of the leg so that the weight can shoot into the leg. Even in this moment, this is not where the weight and pressure is at. He's coming into the shot like a sports move, but he's going to drive the weight into the leg, and you'll see his hips fire completely as the weight shoots into the other leg. That's what the hips should look like when firing through, because the upper body and the lower body works together to explode the hips. So front leg players are actually taking 3 steps during the X step. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. That's what they're doing. So they're taking 3 steps. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. I just dropped all my weight on this leg. The pros, they only take 2 steps and then they balance and glide. 1, 2, balance, glide. The whole idea is to gain balance and control over your left leg. That way you can delay the last step, which allows you time to delay the extension. Ultimately, it gives you time to get the whole body through and the hips through before the arm. Watch how much I delay this last step. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. So Brendan went 1, 2, 3. He went really fast. The slower you go, the easier it is to balance. The faster you go, the momentum takes over. And if you don't have that balance, it drops you over the front side. Even though you're doing that well, you're still going so fast. The best way to learn this timing is to take the momentum out of it. So you have to walk really slow. 1, balance.
So this is 2020. Look how fast I go on this X step. 1, 2, 3. This is literally the same exact distance. 1, 2, 1. Probably went further. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Look at that.
1, 2, 1. Now I'm going to compare the upper body. Brody is accelerating his arm very fast, very quickly. Paul McBeth is getting the rubber band effect. So he is actually snapping the rubber band and then accelerating his arm. So this is the Heisman position. This position tells a lot. Paul has not extended. He's just chilling there. Brody's almost fully extended. Brody is fully extended. Paul is not fully extended yet. Brody's going to be fully extended until the moment that he throws. Paul is still extending. Okay, now Paul is fully extended. The difference here is that Brody's left arm is not creating any tension or stretching, and it's just hanging up here. The rubber band goes through your arm, through your back, and through the other arm. At this moment, he stretches the rubber band and gets the full effect. This arm is flying in hot. This arm extends at the right moment. You can even see the tension right here. Brody doesn't have that kind of tension in the back. He doesn't have that kind of stretch going on. The core, the leg, the left arm, the hips are going to explode through. And because it's all stretched and connected to this back, from here to here is where the slingshot effect happens. So from there to there, Paul McBeth had a lot of help from the rubber band effect. From here on out, he accelerates with his fast twitch muscles, just like Brody. Brody is accelerating with his fast twitch muscles. The only difference is Brody doesn't get any help from the rubber band effect. So we're talking about delaying the last step, delaying extension. If you extend too early, that means you stay extended for a little while. As they're taking that last step, it's just their arms hanging there for a while. When you watch Drew Gibson or whatever top pros, because they delay extension, they extend, but it comes right back. It doesn't stay because they delay it, which allows the body to come through as they're extending. So it runs right into the body and just bounces right back. So if you're looking at your own footage and you extend and you can just see your arm there for a while, you're not doing the same thing that the pros are doing because they are extending at a very specific moment. It's just an extending back. I just want to show the rubber band effect from another angle. I call it the double move. Watch McBeth as he's fully extending, the left arm is coming. They're going in 2 different directions. Just watch McBeth. Okay, so this is the moment that they all meet. This arm shooting that way, this arm shooting that way, it stretches your whole back. If you watch me on the side, so from here to here, it just shot forward. You have to remember that the rubber band effect is an actual rubber band effect. Pull rubber band apart and then bring it back together with your fingers. That's acceleration. Pull a rubber band and then let go and watch it snap. That's what Paul Macbeth and Drew Gibson are doing. They're snapping a rubber band. Obviously, he does it way better than me.
I love seeing that full extension though.